check on the injury news. Alisson, Hugo Ekitike and Federico Chiesa.
Yeah, Alisson is not part of the squad tomorrow, and he's not going to travel to Brazil as well for the national team. So he will be out for Saturday. Hugo is going to train today again, and let's see where he is. And the same can be said for Federico. So we have to wait and see after the session where they exactly are.
Any idea on the timescale for Alisson, just how serious the hamstring injury is?
Yeah, that depends also on how fast a recovery goes. So it's clear that he's not there Saturday. It's clear that he's not going to play for Brazil, and I would be surprised if he would be there in the first game after the international break. But from there on, sometimes things can go a bit faster or a bit slower. So it's always difficult to say the amount of days and weeks. But for the upcoming games, he will not be part of us or the Brazil team.
I suppose what it does mean, though, as well, is it gives Maradashvili an opportunity and the potential this weekend for his Premier League debut. Just tell us what kind of an impression he's made on you, what kind of a level you see him at.
I think we've seen against Southampton how well he's adjusted. We knew that we were bringing in a very good goalkeeper, but when he plays his first game, that's always the best way of seeing that he's adjusted well or not. And I think we've seen in that game that he's adjusted really well to our club, which is not a surprise because he's a quality goalkeeper. And now he can do what Cruyff had to do so many times in the past, replacing Alisson, hopefully in a way like Cruyff did so many times before.
Just with Ali, is there a concern again that it's a hamstring?
Why? What do you mean?
It just seems to be a similar kind of injury, is it? Or is it a similar kind of injury to the ones that you saw last season?
I'm not how do you say this? I'm not a doctor, so I cannot tell you if it's every time the same or whatever. What I'm mainly interested in is can he play in the weekend and how long is it going to take? And I think there are other people in the club that can give you a better answer to your question than I can.
Obviously, results the past week had not been the norm during your time here. In that respect, then, what reaction have you seen from your players, and what kind of a job have you had to do to pick them up ahead of this game against Chelsea?
Nah, if the reaction is after you lose against Palace, you lose another game, you can argue if that is positive. But I saw a team that wanted to try from the first to the last second everything to get a result. Different than to the Palace game, we won much more second balls. We were like in the Palace game close to a result, and I've said many times last season the margins are so small, and that's the same this season again. And we are trying to find a way of that is not about luck or bad luck, or it's not about a set piece goal scored or against. That we are just better than that. It doesn't matter if Hugo Ekitike goes one-on-one to the goalkeeper. He gets twice or three times a pull on his shoulder, but he does everything to stay on his feet, like our players mainly do. And 1 minute later, in the other 18-yard box, a player feels this, goes to the ground as if it was the worst hit he ever had. And the referee gives a penalty. Again, this can happen, and we should be better than that. That it doesn't matter if you are luck, bad luck, or smart or not smart. If you score a set-piece goal or you concede two, like against Palace. By the way, if we would have had the referee that we had against Galatasaray, we wouldn't have lost against Palace, because this one blew his whistle exactly after 8 minutes. But again, that has nothing to do with the current results. We need to do better. And that's why we are what we're going to try.
Hi, Arne. Alexander has had 5 appearances now, so I'm just wondering how you feel he's settling in here.
Yeah, I said to him when he started, the difficult thing will be you will have your appearances, like you just said, but if you add the minutes together, he probably only had 2 or 3 90-minute games. But yeah, that is what we inherited from the situation of him not being with the team in Newcastle. And we knew this before, so it's not an excuse. He already scored a goal. he gets fitter and fitter, but the main thing, he needs to adjust to his teammates, and the teammates need to adjust to him. And the more you play together, the better things will work. There was a great moment, not great because it didn't end up the way I wanted, but he had a great counter movement in the Palace game, where in the end the midfielder didn't see that, and he already played the ball to the right. If he would have seen it, he would have been one-on-one to the goalkeeper. So these are the things you get if you play more together. And playing more together has been a bit harder than last season because of Alexander Isak, because of McAllister, because of Conor Bradley, that Dominic Szoboszlai has played on 8, on 10, on right fullback for the reasons I just said. And but we cannot, we are, in my opinion, too focused on this season, but the second part of last season had a lot of similarities with the start of this season. With one exception, is that the second part of last season we scored 7 set-piece goals, which led to a lot of wins. And this season we've conceded 4, I think. So we play tomorrow Chelsea. I think they've scored more than 50% of their goals from set pieces. So this is the new reality in the Premier League, and we were doing this really well the second part of last season. And this season we have had many good chances from set pieces as well. Unfortunately, didn't score yet.
Does that mean you've got to work harder at them now, or is it just luck?
What I just said, we've been very close to scoring set pieces this season already. Ibu, a big chance against Galatasaray and a big chance against Palace. So I'm very happy about the amount of chances we generate from set pieces, but we haven't scored yet. And yeah, is that luck, bad luck? At this moment of time, I would say we are a bit unlucky. If this just keeps on going throughout the whole season, it might have to do with other things as well. But what I'm trying to say is open play goals, second part of last season and the first part of last season is a main difference. And I don't think we do things different. I do see teams doing a lot of things different to us. So the first part of last season, Jürgen gave me a lot of gifts, but one of the gifts he also gave me was ending up 3rd the year before and 5th that year before. And him being so well known that a new manager came in and everybody thought, oh, let's start to play against Liverpool. And teams played in a completely different way in the first half of the season against us than they did when we were top of the league after the half of the season and when we were top of the Champions League after the first part of the season. And I can see this going now into the second half in this part of this season. And we have to find answers to that. And last season, one of the answers was a set piece. Like many teams, unlock low blocks with set pieces. And this season, we haven't done that yet.
Thank you. I just wonder how Bradley and Frimpong are reacting at the moment to maybe not getting as much time at right back as they might like, given the form and the job that Szoboszlai is doing there for you.
And what is the last part of? Does that mean that he does so well in that position?
Yeah, Szoboszlai is doing a good job for you there. Just wondered, are they frustrated maybe that they're not getting more time?
I don't think so at the moment, because Conor Bradley has been out with an injury in pre-season that brought him into the season with an injury. And Jeremy Frimpong the same. He's been out with an injury as well. So I think I would be surprised if players are complaining that they don't play if they are injured. That would be something new to me. And yes, they've came back from their injuries, but like Alexander Isak, it's at least we don't believe in it. It's not possible if you've been out for 3 or 4 weeks with an injury that you can play 3 games in a week, because you're not prepared for that. So that's why we had to adjust in that position with Dominic Szoboszlai, which he's done very, very, very well, except for the moment where we conceded the penalty, maybe. But yeah, that is one moment in many minutes he's played there.
Sure. And just one on the form of Mo Salah. It's 5 goals in his last 20 competitive Liverpool appearances. I just wonder, by his very sky-high standards, do you think he's a little out of form at the moment?
I think also over there I see the same as the second part of last season, where he scored 12 goals, 5 from a penalty, 1 from a set piece, so 6 open play goals. So he is part of a team that faces different opposition than the first half of last season. So to make that maybe a little bit more of an insight, if you compare how we won the away game against Man United, where they tried to play out from the back and we took the ball 3 times off them, and you compare that the way United played at Anfield, where Onana only went long, then that is one of the answers why it's more difficult for us to score from open play goals. And Mo has a part of this already. You could see this in the second half of last season and the first part of this season, but now you're focused on Mo, the next time we're focused on Florian, then we're focused on Cody. It's what I'm trying to say is that open play, we don't score as many open play goals anymore as we did the first part of last season. And this is something we work on very hard. And the more we will play together in the new setup, the better that will go. But yeah, we still struggle a bit to find enough goals from open play. Second part of last season and the first part of this season.
Last question with Beth, please.
Can I just ask about Ibrahim Konate, because externally he's been getting a little bit of criticism for his performances, and obviously the whole contract situation is hanging over him at the moment. How do you sort of assess where he's at the moment and his performances so far this season?
Now, what I think is, if you are losing a game of football, what we did against Galatasaray and against Palace, then it doesn't help if you lose a ball a few times very easy. He's been one of them, definitely not the only one, because against Galatasaray, I think, apart from the penalty, they've maybe got 3 or 4 moments, all 3 or 4 from us losing a very simple ball without any pressure, which happened to him once in the Crystal Palace game and once against Galatasaray. So then, if you then lose a game of football, there's so much focus on that moment, and all of a sudden 90 minutes have been very, very, very poor, which is not the way I analyze a game, especially not afterwards, where I have the time to analyze, to watch it one more time and see what we did well and what we did wrong. But in the last 2 games, it's been obvious and clear that we've made a few errors that not only him, also others, that we're not used to. And if you do things that people are not used to and you lose a game of football, then normally he, other ones, the manager, gets criticized.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.